Hey, what's up everybody? It has been quite a while since I made a Diablo build. I've been playing a lot of other games and I posted some videos for that, but I kind of stepped away from Diablo for a little bit. And I have decided to have these two guys talk right as I start recording on the game. Anyway, besides the point. I decided to get back into it and really heavily into my wizard and then somewhat into the witch doctor. I kind of go in the caster class. Really, they don't have enough space for everything that I have and everything I want to try. So I kind of decided for right now to focus on these two. So I did put in a lot of time to farm up some new stuff since 2.4 dropped, and I decided to make some builds. So this is the first one of several videos. I got a lot of different builds with sets and just gear that ties in with it, but this will be the first one. And this actually is just a single ring set that they just recently added. So before anything, let's get to the skills. So my main skill, actually the only skill that I use, is Disintegrate. Now, it sounds kind of weird, but I'll get to it. Disintegrate with the Chaos Nexus, that way it shoots out extra little beams whenever anybody gets close. It looks cool, and it actually works really well for this build. As my right click, I have Hydra, but I never use it. I'll tell you why. So I have all these skills. I don't use it because of a belt? No. My offhand allows me to cast all these while I cast Disintegrate. Very cool, makes it a one button ordeal. So I have Mammoth Hydra for Hydra. Here I have Arcane, Fire, and then I also have the other two. Up on my main skills, I only have three of the four, but I'll show you where I get the fourth. So then I also have Magic Weapon with Force Weapon for 20% increased damage. Familiar with Spark Flint for 10% increased damage. And then Energy Armor for just that defense increase with Prismatic Armor. That way, you'll see how high my defense is. Now, this is a high level build. It's not very much so much damage. It's just kind of high damage, high survivability, not extreme of either. So it's up there, but it's not like one of these builds that you see that just destroy everything, is totally invincible. This is just an experimental build. I haven't fleshed it completely out. So this is what I have lying around that I put together. And then finally Meteor with Thunder Crash, which takes away the it takes away the lag in between when it's cast and when it hits the ground. So that's one thing I really like. This is my favorite meteor. The lightning meteor is my favorite one because it's so quick. Guys can't run away from it. And then for my passive skills, I'm using elemental exposure because I'm using 4 different damage types. My ice is actually coming from a weapon. Unwavering will, because I'm going to be channeling this quite a bit, especially in the higher levels. Standing still, this definitely helps more than, say, glass cannon, because it also gives me armor and resistances. Audacity for things that get close, that helps tie in with disintegrate, because if I get close, then I get both the Chaos Nexus extra damage along with higher damage, and then I'm also very tanky, so that means that I could just stand there and just unleash all kinds of damage, especially when they get close. And then some gems tie into it too. And then finally blur for extra damage or defense. And then so for my gear, I have the Serpent Sparker. Oh well, actually, first and foremost, the Legacy of Nightmares is the only bonus set that I have. They added this recently, and it's actually a very cool set. I do like it. It helps me with what I like to do, because set bonuses are fun, but they don't allow you to do what you want. The problem with this though is that you need a lot of ancients to really make it shine. So I do have the two piece, and one of them actually, the first time I got this Wailing Host, it was, as you can see, ancient, which is very cool. And then my other one's not. I'm looking for it. But as you can see, it increases my damage for every ancient that I have equipped. So all of my gear is ancient except for 2 pieces, and that would be the Litany of the Undaunted and Etched Sigil. So really, that's what 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 1100% increased damage. That's huge. And so, okay, so I have the Serpent Sparker. I just recently found this. I got a great roll on it. It's not quite as powerful as my Thunder Fury that I've been using. If you watch my videos from a long time ago, that's what I used quite a bit of. But I just picked this up. I decided to knock it out because I do like the dual Hydras. And then for my offhand, I have Etched Sigil, which your Arcane Torrent, Disintegrate, blah blah blah, also casts Spenders that you have equipped. So here I only have to use Disintegrate, and then it'll also cast Hydra and Meteor Thunder Crash. So that way, here, I'll just show you real fast. That way, I could just essentially focus on that. And as you can see, I also shoot a frozen orb. That's my 4th damage type. But I'll get into that after I go over to the cube. My boots go for Nilfer's, or I went for Nilfer's Boast. That gives me extra meteor damage, and that ties in, of course, with my meteor there. Helps out. My pants were just what I had lying around. I could find better. Actually, quite a few pieces are just what I had lying around. I could find. There's a lot of room for improvement with this build, but just regular pants and another Talrash is just another ancient that I had. The Pauldron's not too bad. There's a chance that I could be revived after I die. Same with the gauntlets. It's just for the ancient. I don't have anything else. I think I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff because I was just way too overloaded. Now the Sash of Knives is actually kind of cool. It gives me physical damage, and this actually attacks a lot. Like, you'll see knives shooting out quite a bit using this. I had a line around. I had other belts, but this one I wanted to add because I'm shooting so much shit holding down one button. I might as well throw knives too. Screw it. And then the chest pieces. Actually, I didn't know that they added this until I found it, and it was, of course, ancient. But while above 90% primary resource, all damage taken is reduced by half. Now that's huge. That's just like having a unity on you, your follower, and then her having that focus that makes her not die, which I'm not using. So as you can see, unbuffed, I got 1.2 million toughness, or 102 million toughness. I'll show you how high it'll go. I just got Squirt's necklace, doesn't help anything. Now the gems that I am using, oh yeah, my wrists are just steady strikers for the increased attack speed. Don't really need it, I could probably use something better. But okay, the gems, Bane of the Trapped, which increases damage, which slowed, or, control impairing effects, anything like that. That is just a big damage boost, especially when enemies get close, and because I don't really have too much CC, it's really only with the frozen orb that I shoot, but that still really definitely helps, especially when enemies are near me, because that also ties in with audacity. So that's 30, and then that's another almost 30, so that's almost 50% more damage for anybody that's close. But that also ties in with everything else as my boosts go. And then I decided to go with 2 dot gems. Pain Enhancer, if you know me, I like using these. Pain Enhancer, which makes enemies bleed on criticals, and also increases my attack speed. So that helps with the overall damage of Disintegrate. And then, well, that's pretty much it. I don't think it really procs anything else more. I don't think attack speed helps with how much it casts your spenders. But it might help with the Arcane Orb. And then my 3rd gem is Gem of Efficacious Toxin. So that way it's just both a 10% damage increase when people get poisoned. It also gives me about a 400% weapon damage poison overall. So that's all the gear, and then of course I got my gems. It's just intelligence gems and then a life one in my helmet. And that's it for the gear. So let's look at the cube, what I've used for that. So I used Wizard Spike. Now the reason why I used this instead of something else is that I only wanted two skills to be cast when I channel Disintegrate. Now I could put Frozen Orb down here and say take out the familiar, but then it's deciding on how many or which ones to go through and cast. So sometimes you won't get an actual Frozen Orb for a while because it'll be casting a lot of meteors. This way it'll actually cast Hydra kind of smart, I've noticed. It'll cast 2 and then it'll stop casting it until you go so far away, or these disappear. Sometimes dumb though too, so you'll see that. But meteor, I want a whole lot of meteors because they actually do over 1 billion damage with this build. On occasion certain things line up. So I'm with Wizard Spike, giving me a 25% chance to shoot off a Frozen Orb. That'll give me my ice damage. I also have Hergbrosh's Binding, which reduces the arcane power cost of Disintegrate, which I'm using, and also Arcane Torrent and Ray of Frost, by 65%. That allows me to use this as much as I want. You see it doesn't go down. So that helps with keeping my arcane power topped off, and then that reducing my damage by 50% by doing so. So that's a huge help. And then finally, because I'm using 4 different damage types, I got to go with convention of elements, which increases my damage by 200% for, it cycles through, as you can see right here. So that helps with just burst damage on just kind of a random damage type. There's no way to really use this effectively. Like if you watch this or the cycle, then you could use it, but I don't give a damn. I just start shooting shit. So that's about it. Oh yeah, okay. So I am at Paragon 555, and I've went with movement. The funny thing is, when I switched everything over, I had 0 movement speed increase, so I had to go 25. Then I movement speed and intelligence, and then with offense, I went with critical damage, attack speed, and then started going with critical hit chance until that's full. I don't need cooldown reduction because none of this stuff is cooldown anyway. Defense, went with armor and resist all, full, and then life next, and then finally life regeneration after I max that out. And then utility, area damage, and life on hit are must-haves. And then finally resource cost reduction is my third that I'm going to finish up. And so, with that being said, the difficulty that I'm playing this at, as you can see I'm on Torment 6, but with the Nephilim Obelisk, I was able to beat level 49 on the Greater Rift with this build. Now, this is not an extremely powerful build. I've played with people on just open games where they just crush everything, and this is not one of those builds. Like I said, this is experimental. This is not for maximum damage. So I'll show you what it does on Torment 6. Oh, also, with the buffs, I go up to 140,000 standing still, 140 million, almost 141 million toughness, almost 2 million damage, and then over 11 million recovery. So that's just raw stats. So I also have my damage numbers up. But so here's Torment 6. I decided to use this just to kind of show how it looks if you're used to Torment 6. Torment 10, it actually takes a little bit longer to destroy stuff. But as you can see, there's like 40, 50 million. I'll get up into the half a billion damage range depending on where the conventions of elements is at. There's 100 million. There was 778 million. So you can see the damage numbers are there. It's not really a billionaire build, but it is very good, and I do like it. I let you see that night shield. So it's great for farming. You could switch out if you had this exact build, you could switch out the Wizard Spike for the wand that allows you to teleport for fast movement. But yeah, 6 is no problem at all. I should have actually started on maybe 7 or 8 or 9 even. Because these enemies are shit. But as you can see, it's very effective, and I'm only using one button, and then it does all that. So, as you can see, it'll put up a Hydra, and then usually it puts up another Hydra, and then those go ape shit. And I really have to do nothing else but just smoke everything, and then it'll automatically cast the meteor where the enemies are at. It's kind of a smart cast, as you see there. It's not unguided, which is real nice. So overall though, this is just kind of my build. Actually, I have a few different ideas and other builds that I've tried, kind of revolving around this style, but also using different sets instead of these rings. Like I do have all 3 sets, so I'll come out with new videos that will show off what it can do when it's combined with an actual full set bonus. And like I said, this is by no means. This is just to showcase what these different elements do together. It's not maximized. It's not perfected. But I'm really happy with it. I actually just slapped this together and I was pleasantly surprised because I just got the Etched Seagull recently. And then I wanted to try it out on a build. And then I also had these rings that I was farting around with on a different build. And then I put it all together and it actually turned out really well. So anyway, that's the video. Thanks a lot for watching. And I hope you guys like this. If you did enjoy it, And make sure to subscribe if you like anything else that I have or this. I'll be coming out with more videos very soon because I have several builds that I could put up. It's just a matter of recording and rendering, everything like that to put it up. But also I'm in 60 frames per second, 1080p now, so with a new computer and everything. So hopefully it looks a lot better too. My old ones, I believe, were on, they might have been 1080p, but 30 frames per second. So anyway, all right, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.